What's up, guys? We're back with some more Run 8 action, and today we're going to be working in Bakersfield yard. That's the first time we've ever done this, right? Usually we worked in the major yards a few times, but we haven't really worked in the outlying yards. I don't know, Bakersfield, I mean, it's kind of a major yard. I don't think it's nearly as important as it was back in the day. But either way, in game, we've got a good amount of stuff to do in the yard. So that is what we're going to be working on. We got a few trains I want to do something with. We've got a back bar that we want to get out of here, right? This is the back bar. We're going to have to add some DPU on the bottom of it. And we've got this, I think this is the bar stow that we need to get out of here. Yeah, this train right here, we need to get him out of here so we can do that. Let's go ahead and make him, actually, let's relinquish the train we have. Make this guy AI recrew. And we need to grab a few. We need to get auto going as well. Let's do that. Let's get auto. Man, for a bit, like, I don't know. I don't think I really want him just yet. I don't think I want him just yet. We've got some things that we want to do before we let him have at it. So, yeah, all right. That train's getting out of here. That one should be good to go. At least pull up a little bit to the signals. So we got the back bar that we need to get set up and add DPU to. We've got this guy right here coming in. I really like. I kind of want to. Man, I kind of want to route him this way. Honestly. I mean, we kind of threw it in front of him, but we'll say that he talked to the yard master and he said, come on in. So we can do that. Let's see. Can we gain access to the yard off of this main is the question, though. Because what I want to do, I want to take that particular train and basically cut the DPU out. So that's what we need to do. We need to cut the DPU off of that train. So it's an earthworm, right? We talked about earthworms. You know, this guy's got hit in mid-train and power on the bottom, so we want to get that taken care of. So, yeah, we're going to bring him through the hand throw crossover here. Bring him down. I don't think we need to take him in the yard. Honestly, we can hold him up right here for now until we get some other stuff taken care of. So that's something else we want to do. So basically, yeah, is build this this back bar and take care of the grain train. So I think we're set pretty much. What does the back bar look like on the bottom? So he's got a bunch of empties, right? These green cars are empties. Red cars are loaded. That's a Baleen car. Yeah, Watson, Baleen. So yeah, there's a few out of here. So if we're gonna have DPU on the bottom, we need to have some weight. It's like what? Like I think a minimum of 5 loads ahead of the helpers of the DPU. A minimum of 5 loads, if not more than that. We've got these cars right here. I don't know where these are going though. I'm not sure on the tri symbol. I'm not a West Coast guy. I'll be the first to tell you, I'm absolutely not a West Coast guy. And it looks like we don't have any, like, these are all customer stuff. Yeah, it looks like we really don't have any options as far as what we can do to tackle on the bottom of that train. Do we have a bunch of loads together? Yeah, we do have all these. But these could potentially be hazmat, which is a whole other thing, right? We've got all these Baleens and San Diegos on the head end. What we could do is break this cut up right here on the head end and have like just set like 5 loads over on top of the DPU, and then back onto our train. And I think that's the plan. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. So our DPU that we're going to use is actually the rear DPU off another train. It looks like, yeah, this guy has a ton of customer orders on it. So this was a Bakersfield bound train. They just left the DPU on it. So what we're going to do is cut these off. So we need to relinquish. We'll take this bad boy and we're just going to manually start them. You know what? Actually, we'll auto start, auto MUDP, auto circuit breaker, auto air brake, because this is going to be kind of a process anyway. So we don't need to add any more to the process. Like it's going to be a bit. So we're going to take these guys and set them over on another track. I'm just trying to think how I want to do this. Do I want to do them down the lead? Do I want to put them in this track and then just shove the cars on top of it? We may just do it that way, really. That might be the best way. And we need to get our rail driver set up as well, too. That's going to be a thing. Yeah, I think we're good with this. He's got handbrakes. This guy here, we can take the handbrakes off. Sweet. Sweet action. Let's go ahead and cut them out. Close angle cock. Pull the pin. And we can take him ahead right out of this track. With that one. So I'm trying to do this like we've only got one engineer. That's the tricky part. I don't know much about DPU operations in real life, guys. I'll be the first to tell you it wasn't a thing when I worked. I mean, there were DPU around on the West Coast, but it certainly wasn't an East Coast thing. Like I said, there were rumors even back in early 2000s. They'd tell us, hey, you know, they might start using DPU, and we would laugh. Like, we thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever in the history of railroading, right? For us to start potentially using DPU, we didn't think it would ever happen. So yeah, eventually that did happen, but I don't have any DPU experience. But I'm trying to look at it in terms of DPU operations is probably just one engineer. I don't think I don't see the railroad forking out money for a hostler to like put engines on it. You know, I think it's just gonna be one man. Like, and I've seen a video on YouTube a while back on CSX where they're adding a DPU. There's just one engineer and one conductor doing it all. So it was quite the process, right? Because you're having to go back and forth. So this guy is set up and ready to go. Pins pulled. Everything looks good. Let's give him a little independent, and then we'll pull him ahead. Actually, let's go. It would help if Spur put the reverser in forward. Like, we're not going anywhere if we don't do that. There we go. So yeah, we're going to we're trying to approach this like it's just the engineer and the conductor doing this by themselves, solo, with a cab, right? Like with a taxi, carry-all, whatever you want to call them. There we go. That's the screen I need. I may need to calibrate this thing. I'll be the first to tell you. It seems like sometimes you have to kind of like regularly calibrate the rail driver, right, to get it to work out okay. All right, let's just stop them right here. Let's get this switch back, because I think we are going to leave them on this lead. Like I said, I'm trying to approach this as doing this just two-man crew, two men's. All we got is two men's doing this, so we got to try to do this in the best way that works for us. So I'm just trying to think how we could clear up 5 cars. I think we could kind of set them down on this lead and then put the 5 cars over on top of them. I don't want to have to move the locomotives around a lot, because let's say we set them off on this track, we put a handbrake on it. I think back in the day, like messing with a handbrake on the locomotive was an engineer thing. Like if you wanted to be picky about it, I mean, I did that, but I want to say there were some guys that didn't mess with handbrakes on locomotives because they're like, that's the engineer's job, right? They do that. That's locomotive related. So they're getting paid to do that. They do that. Like, you know, it's kind of like if you want to be an a-hole about it, maybe something like that. I did handbrakes. I didn't mind helping out. So I think it was like that. Like I kind of vaguely remember that, right? Am I wrong on that? If, you know, guys that work for the railroad, I don't know, like currently do it, but Either way, we're going to set these over and leave them and then tie them down and then set the cars on top, and then we'll kind of get it together that way. So let's do that. We got our switch line. Switch is lined in the clear. Let's come on back. Okay, this guy just did his crew change, but he's in for a rude awakening, so they're not going anywhere. They are in for a rude awakening. I can tell you that right now. They're not going anywhere. They went on duty to sit. Right? It happens. Absolutely, it happens. Go on duty and then sit there for 6 hours and never turn a wheel, right? I've known guys that went on duty and never moved and went dead. 12 hours later, never turned a single wheel. Like, it happens sometimes, so it's part of it. I set that guy over right there. There we go. So, I think we're good on the south end here for now. Or this would be the north end. Sorry, north end. I think we're good up here to let this guy go. Yeah, I kind of think we are. So, where is he at? I just don't want to give him the wrong light. I think it's going to be this dude, right? That dude. This guy has already gotten completely out. Like, he's gone. He's long gone. So we could take him maybe down to Lopez. So we don't need to do it that way. We just do this. Let's give him a light. Let's make sure this is the correct light that we need. Yes, he does have a light. Kind of weird just to get an approach out of there, but we'll go with it. I just got to clear out. Okay. Not like a divergent clear, but just a straight up clear. Okay, so we're going to let him go do his thing. You know, trains going up and down to Central Valley, they don't technically need DPU. You know, from what I've read on train orders, I think it's changed over the years, right? So I think like in the early 2000s, they were trying to cut some of the DPU out at Bakersfield that went over the mountain, like Tehachapi. Like they cut it out and then send it up the rest of the way. I read somewhere where I think now they don't mess with it; they just go with the DPU. So. We're going to do it like the olden days, the olden times. Okay, that's good. That's good there. Yeah, I think we're good. We're good with that. So we should be able to set 5 cars over. At least I hope. You know what? We may bump this dude down just a little bit further. Yeah, a little bit, so we won't be coupling there and that switch. Okay, that's good. I think that's plenty. All right, let's time down, and I guess they would go ahead and get it set up, right? I would think you would go ahead and set it up. And what I mean by that, like, there's like the DPU in game isn't nearly as involved as it is in real life, but we can kind of get it in that ballpark a little bit. So we got it both tied down. This dude is going to be single middle. This dude is going to be long hood trail because it's a long hood, right? I don't think we've ever gone over that because I just take for granted that people know this. But for those of you that are brand new to railroading and trains and stuff like that, there's 2 ends to these locomotives. Short hood, the one that you can see over, right? You can look over that. It's short. It's short between the windows and the nose. The pointy end, right? Long hood, all the engine, all that behind it. So this is the long hood, this is the short hood. So this is going to be trailing, and by setting it up as long hood trail, now our headlight works. See, off, now on. So got our marker on dim with DPU. That's what you do. You know, your rear markers dim. All right, now we need to. Damn, I kind of want to isolate them for now too. I think we're going to isolate them. There we go. So they're isolated. They're still not set up for DPU yet, but we'll get that in a second when we come back to them. All right, so now we need to relinquish those. That may honestly be the only thing we do today in this video because it's going to be kind of involved a little bit. All right, let's grab this guy. There we go. I think we're just going to cut 5 off. Like, we're not even going to pull it down. I don't see any sense in pulling it down. Let's just cut 5 off. So CFM is 53, so it still seems to be pumping up a little bit. I mean, we could let it do that. Let it charge a little bit. I guess it's not going to matter in the scheme of things because we're just going to dump the air anyway. So let's just go with it. Let's find 5 cars too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So it's okay to, I feel like it's okay to separate these cars, even though they're one cut, right? Well, they're not all going to the same place. So they're like, they're one cut of grain, but they're all going different locations. They're going to be classified anyway. So it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter about that. So there we go. We've got him. Let's just F5 it and knock the handbrakes off that way. Let's hop in the cab. Get our window open. That's very important. Sweet. There we go. All right, so now got to get this switch line. That one is good right there. This dude is pulled down. We'll use the long lead here to do all this. There we go. Sweet. All right, reverser forward. Switch is lined into clear. Let's take him ahead. I want to say the tonnage, like it's like sometimes you have to put more than 5 loads ahead of the DPU depending on the tonnage. I'm not getting that deep in it right now because I can't remember and I'm not going to look it up. Spur's just lazy, right? Like maybe we could look into that a little bit more in depth sometime, but I don't care enough today to really mess with all that. So that's what we're doing this time. We'll just do the 5. I know for a fact it's got to be 5, but oh yeah, this cleared up perfect, but all right, so we got to come down here to this switch. Sorry, slowing her up a little bit, just feathering the independent on and off just a little bit, right? Not getting crazy with it. There we go. There we go. Love Cartman. Used to watch South Park a ton back in the day. I remember feeding my oldest daughter a bottle. We were sitting there holding her, feeding her a bottle, and sitting there watching South Park. Okay, there we go. That's good. That'll do. Throw our switch. Make sure she don't roll back out on us, right? Because she could. If you don't clear the switch good enough, she could absolutely roll out on you. All right, so let's pop up with E. There we go. All right, back bar switch is lined in the clear. Let's come on back. We're not going to car count it. We're too lazy to do that too. Like I said, sometimes we have, right? We're not too terribly worried about it today. It's just us. If we were like working with someone else, real life player, absolutely. Man, she just wanted to take off. A little bit of a downhill here. Okay, I was wondering. I was like, man, she's going like really quick. It takes nothing to get this thing rolling. There we go. Ease it on down. About one more to a coupling. Let's hop on down. All right, half car, half. 10 feet. That'll do. All right, sweet. Let's lace her up. All right, connect. This bad boy go partial. Shouldn't matter. Everything is charged up, so it shouldn't make any difference on this open. It's just a good habit to be in to hit partial first in game, you know. Okay, so we're good with that. She's still tied down. Yeah, they got handbrakes there. She's isolated. We're still not going to set it up for DPU until we're ready to go because I don't know how that works, like game-wise, doing that. All right, there we go. So let's, we got the 2 locomotives, but I think we're going to do a couple up here too. There we go. Good enough. Get this guy. Close him off. Open the coupler. All right, bar back. Let's take him ahead. I don't think they'd call the bar back. I think they'd call it by the engine. Whatever the engine number is. There you go, sweet. All right, let's catch up. Oh, come on, catch up, Spur. There we go. Now let's take him ahead. All right, so we go back over and grab our train. And then we'll come back over here and grab this, and then we'll have our loads ahead of the DPU, and everything will be right, and then we'll be good to go. I'm really not sure what the makeup of this train is. Like I said, we didn't, like, we haven't been too terribly nitpicky about it. We just switch right here. All right, that'll do. Top down. Hit our switch. There we go. Nice. All right, switch is lined in clear. Bring him on back. Let's see what this engine number is. I don't know what it is. I think it's 8089. Nice. That's a good one to remember. Man, that'd be easy peasy, right? All right, 8089. So you have the luxury of teleporting down here to figure this out, to get this, make this joint. I'm sure don't foul that track, because you never know, right? Someone may be coming in there. All right, feather is independent. One more one. All right, half car, half. 20. And a little bit more. 10 feet, 10. 5 feet. That'll do. Sweet. All right, let's lace them up. Lace them up. Let's charge it. Connect. So this one we most definitely need to do partial. We don't want to dump the air, right? If you, I can't explain that to you why it does that, but it does. It did it in real life, right? Like if you open the air too quick, it does something to the brakes and it dumps your air. It's like moving too much air too fast or something. I don't know, but either way, it puts your train in emergency. So you crack it, and like in real life, you don't have the luxury of looking at your flow meter, right? In real life, you just kind of listen to it. Like it'll be really strong at first, and then it'll start dying down, and you know once it gets to a certain point, it's just kind of listen to it, really. But at least what I did. But in game, we want to wait for it to get down to around I think it was below 60, right? Before we do that. All right, let's center reverser real fast. We got full independent. Let's see if we can kind of charge her up a little bit here. A little faster, bump her up a few notches with the reverser centered. Yeah, this may take a hot minute. Hopefully the bottom isn't open on this thing. It shouldn't be. You see it's coming on up. It's just going to take it a minute. We'll go check the bottom just to be sure. Yeah, it's closed. I can see it. What she look like. Yeah, you see, she's just, it's going to take her a while to pump up. All right, well, I guess we'll hang tight. We'll let this thing pump up, and then we'll catch up in a bit. All right, so I'm sitting here waiting on this thing. I know she's partial, right? We just talked about that. So I'm kind of curious just to see what she does if we go. Like I said, I don't know game-wise. Like, we wouldn't have to wait that long to open that up all the way. Let's open it up. Yeah, she's fine. She's fine now, so. All right, so she should pump up a lot faster. At least I hope. I say that, right? We'll see. So yeah, we'll grab this. We'll take our train. This is basically our train. We'll pull out, we'll swing over, we'll make it solid, we'll set up our DPU, and then this bad boy will be good to go. Let's see, we got that switch is still line. That one is good. All right, no, it is not. Good thing we checked that. I had to run through switch. It would be cool if you ran through switches in game and it messed them up, right? And then you'd have to have like a maintenance away guy come out and fix them. You know, I would love to see more maintenance away stuff in game. All right, let's go ahead. We'll get this hand through. Nice. This is one of those situations too. This is a cool spot right here. It's a hand throw out of the yard, at least going that way. Sometimes when there are like different situations where I came out of the yard on a hand throw, they would tell you to go. They say, just go with it. Don't worry about the hand throw. We'll get someone else to get it, right? That was really common, especially as 32nd Street guys in Birmingham going 32nd Street. Like they left the hand throw open all the time. So what would happen, right? Like, what would happen? What would happen if Yardmaster said, leave the hand throw, we'll get someone else to get it? So there's basically two things that could happen, right? The easiest thing would just be like the next train that is northbound coming through here on this main, like we have right now, this grain train. They could call them on the radio and be like, hey, look, get that hand throw at the south end if you don't mind. You know, line it back. You know, he come in on a clear, right? We just tell him verbal instructions, you know, stop and line that hand through. Could do that. Or the next train that comes this way into the yard, into this double main here. He may need to go down to double main this way, or he could go the other way. Like he could actually go into the yard. But if he doesn't need to go into the yard, he's just going to this double main right here. Then he just come up here on a restricting. You should get a restricting, right? Grab the hand throw, line it back, and you're good to go. Same vice versa, right? Train coming this way, north to south, a southbound train. You could come down here, get by, talk by the signal, or get a restricting. Come down here, line the switch, and then go on about your business. Same way on the other main too. Just be like, hey, get that hand through, you know. So my point is, you don't always have to like stand there and wait for your train to clear up and line the hand throw back, right? Because then you got to have a taxi and you got to do all this stuff. It just adds a lot to it. Sometimes it takes more time to do that than to just be like, you know, I'll just go with it and don't worry about the hand throw. So, all right, this guy, he's charged up good enough. Charged up good enough. Reverser forward. Let's take him ahead. Get out on the ground here. He may have handbrakes though. There you go. Now he's moving. All right. Yeah, I hate it that all the handbrakes default on. And I don't know how you could fix that. Like how you could make it any better. Like, because you have to know what the handbrake requirement is for that location. And then it's like a whole can of worms, right? But that's the only thing. All right, there we go. So we'll just watch him by, right? We'll just stand here and watch him. We got to take care of this unit right here. We need to cut out dynamics on it. That's the whole dynamic brake axle count. We're not going to get into that. You know, it's powered axles and dynamic brake axles, and you can only have so many on your train, which I can tell you right now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's not okay. We got too many basically as far as dynamic. We're good with powered. We're not good with dynamic. So we cut that guy out. Everything else is good. Yeah, it's a little bit of a grade here, so I have to kind of pull on it. So I wonder if 2 would be enough. There we go. Let's pull these tags down. We don't need that. So this guy that we're hanging on to down here, 700 tons, 448 feet, not bad. Pull that down the rest of the way. Our main, the bulk of our train is 9,000 tons. 6.2 loads, 24 empties. So yeah, pretty decent train. And we may have needed more loads on the head end of that DPU. You just don't want to be putting light cars in front of your DPU on a heavy train, because basically what it's going to do is pick those cars up off the rail. You know, it's going to be, there's nothing to hold them down. There's nothing to weight them down to the rail, right? So it's just going to pick it up and, you know, possibly like crinkle it off to the side. You know, you definitely don't want to put like any empty center beams beside it. That would be a bad day for sure. You'd probably get a letter. Actually, it's train makeup. Like, I mean, it is on the crew too. Like, they have to look at that, but someone's getting a letter either way. If you do that, someone is most definitely getting a letter. There you go. All right, she's getting a little fast. Let's back out of the throttle. I don't know. Are these I mean, they're not placarded as hazmats, but I wonder. My main thing is I don't know like the customer operations on the West Coast. I wish there was a better way. I wish there was a customer system that you could just go into and look at. It has all the customers for each subdivision, you know, each route, and tells you what they do, what they ship, what they receive, what kind of cars, how often they need it, you know, that sort of thing, to like manage your a better management customer system. And then what would be really cool is to have a way that you could take the customer requirements and put them into your inbound supply trains, like automatic, like it just spawns, it just makes the train for you, right? And then you just spawn it in. All right, 1 is not enough, but 2 is too much, right? That sucks. That's the way it is. Yeah, this worked out pretty good. I think this is pretty reasonable for a 2-man job, right? Like, I'm just assuming, I don't know if they'd have a U-man here. So U-man would be like a utility conductor that would attach himself to your crew and help you out, right? Like another conductor or a brakeman or whatever, you know. I don't even know if they still have U-man anymore. They had one in Birmingham when I used to work in and out of that yard. We had a U-man. I think we talked during the live stream, the 10,000 sub live stream. We talked about how U-Man used to love to attach himself to our train because I want to say he got extra money for that. I never did that job, but I want to say U-Man got extra money for helping a foreign line road. A foreign line road would be a train that is not your company, right? So it'd be like a BNSF guy helping a CSX train, basically, you know, that sort of thing. So it varied, right? U-Man helped us a lot when we're like doubling over or making cuts, that sort of thing, like pulling a track, cutting off and shoving in another track. He'd help with that. Or if we had to double over, used to have to double over a lot because East Thomas had short tracks. So that was a regular thing. I've had U-Man do it with us, and I've done it myself plenty of times too. So it wasn't like we always had a U-Man available to help. I don't know if they were just busy or if he just wasn't working or what U-Man was doing, but U-Man wasn't available. All right, we got a little bit further to go here. Let's back out of the throttle. We'll start slowing her down. Start giving her a little bit independent. Just a hair. I mean, we could use a big brake if we wanted to as well. There we go. That looks better. Looks better to me. It's old Chicago and Northwestern car. Man, I'd love to see some C&W stuff. I think a route in Illinois in game that was like UP and C&W heavy would be cool. Powder River Basin would be a really good one back like in the day. Not current day, but back in the day when you had like the BN and C&W and UP going in there. Like that would have been awesome, right? Absolutely would have been awesome. All right, he's got a little slow. Let's pull her a little bit. You're easing her by. All right, let's call about 2 more cars too, because you got to think these are short cars. These aren't your standard 50-foot cars. They're a little bit short, right? So we'll say about 2 cars here, give or take. I think it's like, it wasn't easy for me to count in real life, let alone in game, because you just don't have the same kind of depth perception in game. All right, one more one. All right, that'll do right there. 89, 80, 89, 80, 89. That's it. All right, 80, 89. That'll do. There, get her switch. Always, if you're new to the game, always be careful when you're making a move with a long cut like this. You got to reverse through the switch. See, look how much slack is rolling out on this thing. Like, it's still going, right? Like, it looked like it was well clear. Like, what? That's like a car length of slack just rolled out of that thing, right? At least. So, I mean, you know, if we had stopped, like, right here, we would have got through the switch. So, make sure that you get plenty of room, right? All right, let's go catch up. All right, 80, 89. Switch is lined into clear. Let's come on back to a coupling. There we go. Your little throttle. Sometimes today has got to gather up all that. Oh, well, you know what? It would help if Spur put it in reverse. That is muy importante. There you go. Now you can come back. 80, 89, when you get your stuff situated, you can come on back. That's going to be a hard slack run in. I don't care, though. That wasn't too bad. All right, let's just ease on back here. We don't go too fast, right? We're hanging on to 9,000 tons, so we got to be extra careful with this. We could try putting a little air under her and shoving it too, but I'm not worried about it. Right, we got a guy on the bottom riding of 9,000 tons and what, 4,000 feet, maybe something like that, 5,000 feet. So we keep the slack running in and out. We could put a little air under. We're not going to bother though. We're just going to go with it. The main thing is when you start, like if you're just going to work your independent, make sure that you don't whip all that slack out and get a knuckle. All right, this is good right here. All right, swing down. All right, that'll do. 80, 89. Sweet. Lace her up. Oh yeah, let's draw some air down. There we go. Try to keep this thing from moving around so much because it does have all those tank cars in it. All right, let's connect. That one is open. Okay, let's do partial. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and release. There we go. Come down really quick this time. Center reverser. All right, open this up the rest of the way. There's a lot more we could do, right? Like we could center the generator field if we wanted to. We could do all kind of stuff, like, or turn it off, turn the gen field off. Whatever you do with it, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so man, I guess guess the engineer would hop on a taxi and come down here and set this up. You know? All right, so setting up a DPU, relatively easy. We already got our train solid. Everything's together, good to go. What we're going to do is we're going to hit MU and it's going to say DPU lead, and he is pointing forward, right? The direction of our train is going that way. The little short end, the short hood is facing that way. So we could... Oh, wait, it is forward. Okay, I see. I thought we had to select that, but it's forward or reverse. So there you go. So we need it in forward. It's in DPU, DPU lead. So that all looks good. Let's get our handbrakes, right? Handbrake knocked off. Handbrake knocked off. Okay. Now this is the part I don't know what they do in real life. I know there's tests that they do to make sure they have continuity with the DPU, but I like to do in games. Just crack the throttle a few notches. And she's in isolate. Never mind. Never mind. All right, let's not do that. Let's knock the brakes off. I don't even know how you would do like a proper brake test with DPU, right? It doesn't look like... There we go. Now it is. It just got the signal. You can hear it. It's delayed, right? We've talked about that. There's a big delay. All right. Yeah, we're just winging it. At this point, we're just winging it. I don't know what they do. I really don't. It's kind of like a brake test in a way, but it may be different. All right, there we go. So that's good. Back off. There we go. All right, they're off. All right, let's grab some air. Got a little too much, but that's okay. All right, you see we got brake cylinders showing we got 23. So if we look at our graph here, you can see, yeah, we do have air in the brake cylinders on the locomotives. Let's actuate them off. There we go. Nice. All right, so let's draw down some more air. And we need to see about hanging an EOT too. Like I said, I don't know what the real life procedure for this is. We're just doing it game wise. EOT, attach EOT, activated. Nice. 21 in the locomotive brake cylinders, and they are applied. Sweet. Go back to the head end. We do have handbrakes somewhere. I thought I knocked all those off. Did I not knock all those off? I swore I did. Did I not get this guy? Yeah, I did. Where's that? Oh, the two that we grabbed onto. That's right. There we go. Get him. Get him. Double check a few on either side. All right, there we go. Those are off. Those are off. Nice. Okay. Angle cocks opened up all the way. Sweet. I think we're good. All right, nice. Where's our head end at is the question. Let's hop back in. On a single main, or I mean on a double main. We're on a double main now. We got light. That's okay. There we go. Reverse it forward. We'll say our train was pre-tested. I guess brake test wise, we kind of jacked with a little bit though as far as moving stuff around. We're not getting into all that though. We did the basics enough, right? That's good. Let's go full independent. Let's release you. Let's go to our DPU page. There we go. We've got two sets, so we do have continuity, right? And we can crack the throttle. Release the independent. No, she went to 3. She decided she wanted to go to 3. I wasn't wanting 3. Man, this thing. That's the thing about Rail Driver. It's like the biggest downside, right? Oh, we got to put them in run. Never mind. I completely forgot that. So we're just kind of dragging these guys along. Run. Run. There you go. Should have done that. Now we good. Now we got some amps. Yes, don't forget to put them in run. If you're not getting amps on the bottom, then it's because they're isolated. Sweet. There you go. We've added our DPU. Our back bar is ready to go. 4x2 configuration. What do we got? 5,300 feet. 5,385. 10,067 tons. Tons operative brake 110. Total dynamic brake axles. I didn't know it told you this. I have never noticed that before. Load 67, empties 24. Total units 97. Total axles 400. 3 mile per hour limits 55. We're 2.7 HPT. So yeah, this is going to be a really good train, guys. This would be a super good train to take up the mountain. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. We're going to leave off right here. I want to do some of that grain train. Basically, we do the opposite. Maybe we'll do that in another video. But love all of you. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like and leave a comment down below if you did enjoy. And we'll catch you in the next video. Maybe we'll do that with the grain train. Anyway,